All right, good evening, everyone. And thank you for joining us for the United State of Fashion during Fierce Urgency of Now. I'm Tanisha Camillo Sheffy, founder and director of MadeINcubator program. I definitely want to thank you for joining us. We are so excited. MadeINcubator is dedicated to discussing the experiences, challenges, and opportunities for fashion professionals in our community. So we are on site here at Greta Lux in Wellesley. Beautiful, beautiful location. Literally, the fashion is so amazing. It's making me have heart palpitations. And I wanted to change when I got here, but I'm actually sporting our fashion t-shirt that we have for sale that we're fundraising for. It says fashion, but we're here on site at Greta Lux, and I just thank Greta Monahan so much for being a part of this event and everyone for tuning in. We are so excited. We have like a very exciting lineup for you guys, and thank you for your patience. So as an event host, we're working with the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce and City Awake to really hone in on their professional young network. And so City Awake is really to help and MadeINcubator is really here to help make the city stronger and more inclusive to all. And then also we have big news coming up for a big giveaway. I'm not sure if you guys seen it on our Incubator, our MadeINcubator Instagram page, but we posted about a big giveaway for Greta Lux. And so that will be coming more throughout the event. We're going to be giving some updates and who the winner will be for that as well, and instructions on how you can kind of participate if you weren't able to earlier, if you weren't able to participate. But I want to just jump right in. I know that we don't have much time, but I'm just so excited that you guys have tuned in. So right now, what I'm going to do is turn it over to our moderator, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Greta Monahan, and I'll let her introduce herself, and we will begin the program. So enjoy.
That was so great. Where would we be? First of all, I just have to say this before I give Tanisha love and MadeINcubator love and all of you love. I am so honored to be here. I'm so honored that Tanisha chose us to be the stage and the platform tonight when she decided to go virtual. So I want to thank my friends so much for that. I also want to say we would never be talking to you. I'm barely talking to you, and the only reason that is because we have this incredible Jamie who's amazing. We've got Joni Friedman, we've got Washburn, we've got people making it so that we can connect, experts just like us, and that's what this is all about tonight. This is about connection. So I could not be more honored to be here. If you don't know me, my name is Greta Monahan. I'm founder, a very, very proud female founder of Greta Enterprises, which is comprised of beauty, style, fashion, basically my dream, a one-stop shop for fierce women. And that's where we are tonight. We also have launched a new online store, which I'm very proud of, and you'll meet my incredible creative director, Leah Gardner, tonight. She's one of the moderators as well, and she has relaunched our entire website, which is Greta & Co., and we couldn't be more proud. So love meeting you all. Nervous. I'm actually nervous. It's like there's so many amazing people here tonight, and I'm really excited to be able to do this with you all. I also want to have to shout out to someone who I am so incredibly in awe of always. I work with her on many different fronts, but mainly I follow her because she's so fierce, and her name is Alicia Daniels. Alicia Daniels is not just an incredible stylist, a philanthropist, and just, I have not met many people as dynamic and capable of making change as this woman. And I know tonight everyone is here, but I have to shout out that. And she's also going to be here with us tonight, which is great, honorary style chair. And I know I look a little bright in my light, and I'm so happy to say that I am, because I also want to do a big shout out for my friend and founder, Ed, who created Moon. I am moonlit tonight, and I love it. We're going to share more with you about this incredible founder and innovator, because it's really something that we are all using and striving to perfect our creative right now. So love that. One of the things that I always love is not just connection, but meeting people who are amazing. And Tanisha is just such a connector. It's why I wanted to be part of this program in the worst way. And I'm excited now to introduce you to our first speaker. Her name is Kristen Donovan, and she's the Assistant General Manager of Bloomingdale's. Kristen?
Hi, thank you, Greta, and thank you, everyone. I am So excited to be with you tonight. I am from Massachusetts. I have done a bit of a tour in many different of Bloomingdale's locations, and I'm back home in the Boston area and excited to immerse myself. But what better company than tonight to be with you all? So thank you.
So we have questions for you. We obviously are so excited to dive in with our experts. So I'm going to give you our first question. How do you keep your fingers on the pulse of fashion trends? I know everything has changed, so we really want to dive in with this question.
Yeah, definitely. So, there are things that I've always found to be tried and true, like Women's Wear Daily, which is, a great digital option that I used when I was in school many years ago. But really for me, a lot of it comes down to, I would say, of course, social media. Instagram is really one of the best places for me to find inspiration outside of just the community that I live in. But I also spend a lot of time with specific bloggers that I like, digging into what they're into. When I lived in New York City, and still today, even if I go to Boston, being inspired by the people around me in certain cities and communities is really the thing that gets me going the most. Not always the easiest to do, but when I can make time for it, I always find myself really energized by those experiences. And then the last thing that I really enjoy right now is, I'm biased for Bloomingdale's, but we have this wish list function on our app that allows you to kind of pour in the things that you love and buy them or not buy them, or use them as this kind of wishing board that I share with all of my friends and family. But many retailers have that option. I just really find that to be such an easy one to pop them in and dream of things that I want, find them, different price points in different places. But I've really loved how innovative we've been with that wish list function.
I love that. I actually noticed that you guys did that, and I was like, how can we do that? I said that to my team because it was such a great idea. And I think that everybody, we all want to make each other feel amazing. And so to have a shareable opportunity that's instant, making use of instant tech is incredible in fashion. And you guys have done a great job with that. I have another one for you. In what ways do your customers influence the direction of Bloomingdale's? Is it by season now? How has it changed? And, what is the future?
Yeah, this one's actually one of my favorite questions because we really wouldn't be anywhere without our best customers and our new customers that we're gaining through this unique time. But it has changed. It looks different now. In the past, we would have, these brand events. We'd have them from anywhere from celebrities to influencers to direct designers. But we're kind of going into the virtual world. So we like to still do these things. It's just different. For example, last week or this week, we had Paige from Paige Denim, creative designer, and she showed us the new line, and right away we had clients giving her feedback. She asked for feedback, and she's going to implement them in her next season in terms of color and texture and fabrication. So we do really want to know what our clients want, and we react as fast as we can. I would say to answer the timeline, I think it's more of a seasonal thing to your point, but we really are always looking for feedback. And then in terms of service, which is the biggest thing in our store and the thing that keeps us going, we have a daily platform called Medallia, which some of you might be used to. But what that does in real time, you make a purchase, we send you a survey, and we ask you a ton of questions. And those ones I read every day. It's a ritual for me when I wake up because there's no better information than what the experience is that the customer is getting in your four walls.
That's very true. That's great. Okay, next up. How has COVID-19 impacted Bloomingdale's, and how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so, I, like many industries, COVID has certainly impacted retail, and there are different shopping patterns. How people are shopping does look different, but the number one priority is really assuring the customer right now that health and safety is the first thing that we, strive for. And that is the feedback we're getting too, is that our customer felt safe. They saw us cleaning down all the right places where there would be high touch. So really, really important as we shift gears in the new normal. In terms of the store dynamic, we have wellness checks every morning, which is, a very different process than in the past. We have our Bloomingdale's masks that our team wears, and of course what the customer needs to wear as well. And the way that we do business, we're only open in reduced hours, 11 to 7, very different for us. but allows us to sanitize the store the way it needs to be sanitized during downtime. So, fitting rooms are limited, but very, very sanitized and clean. We're making it work. And the biggest thing is that we have different ways for the customer to shop. So historically, we really emphasize the coming in, the four walls, the appointments in person. We're doing things virtually, especially in places like beauty, where in Massachusetts, there is a no tolerance for testing and things like that. Testers are not allowed right now. So we've really tried to be creative. We have contactless pickup, which really wasn't a thing prior to this. And we're finding new customers that way that are more comfortable, just stopping in a parking spot and having us bring it out to them. So there are all these different ways, and we're trying to adapt as fast as possible, but it is a totally new normal for us.
Yeah, well, and just so you know, Tanisha and I occasionally throw in a wild one. We like wild questions, keep it fun and lively. And you're on the topic that I love most. And so I'm going to ask you, what's your vision? I know we're working with being in a pandemic, we're working with COVID, but what's your future vision for how the retail experience will evolve permanently in connecting designers and talent with customers?
Yeah, so, if I close my eyes and think about in the future, this time is making us become very good at doing things differently and efficiently. And I think it's about kind of progress and versus perfection in the moment, trying things, being creative. It's allowing associates and to do things differently. I was so blown away by the two events we had this week with Nina Garcia from Elle, and we would never have that rich kind of exclusive experience if we didn't tap into this virtual moment. So I think we're going to be able to connect better with designers and consumer, and I think we're going to be able to kind of accelerate innovation that way, and I'm really excited. It's not easy all the time. It can be awkward. There's a lot of, technology that comes with it, but I'm excited for what the future holds in fashion.
I love that you pointed to that, because I do think that, as much as virtual is a lot to get used to, like you said, the Nina Garcia event was just mind blowing for us. And I think that, the fact that you broke ground on that and you have that intimacy with customers in that way, and that really breaks down all borders. It doesn't matter if someone's not in that state or that town, they can connect with Bloomingdale's, which means they can connect with their, fashion celebrity and their expert and really feel that they got this incredible value added opportunity and experience, even right from home. So thank you for making that so clear. I love it. This is great.
Thank you.
So next up, Tanisha, are we going to do our Daniela Corte? Because we know we love our Daniela Corte.
Yes, we do love Daniela Corte. But first, I did want to see if there are any questions that anyone in the audience had for Kristen. With her being in the major retail industry and, with you being designers or in the fashion world, if you had any specific questions that you wanted to ask her, please feel free to put it in our chat and we'll just ask her really quickly some questions. Let's see.
There was some questions. I actually saw one.
Yeah. Let's see. Go all the way to the top. All right. I don't see anything right now. Do you see anything, Greta?
No, I thought I saw a hand raised, but I am.
Yeah, I thought I saw that too.
I'm learning Zoom.
Me too.
So if any of our other friends and moderators see it.
I see it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. There it is.
During COVID or post-COVID, and I think that's an amazing question and something I look at every day. So I'll give you a little update. Home, no surprise. Our home business is really taking off in such an amazing way. But if you look at beauty and ready-to-wear and things like that, it's really skincare. People have realized they need a routine when they're wearing a mask or when they have less makeup on. Fragrance has been really, really great for us. And then this one really is something I think is so of the moment is blouses. So people aren't buying pants, but they are they're refreshing their tops. So we have our best clients saying, give me 5 great new blouses. I've got Zoom meetings all week. So that's really been the big highlights for us. And less of the things we've always been great at, which is suiting and things of that nature, but it's all balancing out. But I think that's a great question. Thank you.
And I think that there is one more we can choose. Oh, do you accept consignment at Bloomingdale's?
So I think if I'm getting it correct, and please let me know, but we do buy consignment. So in some vendors, we'll do our own buy and then a consignment to see how it goes. A lot of trend areas will do that so that there's more fluidity in the assortment that we have. But we definitely do work on consignment and our actual buy as well.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, obviously, I got excited to introduce you to my friend and fashion designer, Daniela Corte. She's an amazing mom. She is a Boston girl, but originally she is deliciously, deliciously Latin and wonderful. And you guys will love her style. She's taught me so much over the years. We have collaborated on so many levels through basically everything as boutique owners, passionate about arts and about charity and philanthropy. But there is really no one in Boston who has, I think, brought such a feeling of having designer and collections and personalized service than Daniela Corte. So I'm very delighted to introduce her to you and also delighted to share her.
And welcome to the United State of Fashion presented by MadeINcubator, revolutionizing the way designers learn, build, and succeed in fashion. My name is Leah Gardner, the founder of the blog, The Lilac Press, and I'm very excited to be your host for the designer presentation segment of this virtual fashion event. Today, I have with me the fabulous Daniela Corte, incredible designer and Boston-based. Welcome, Daniela. Will you tell us a little bit about your brand?
Of course, yes. So I started the brand in 2000, just trying to make really beautiful everyday clothes. So my whole statement behind my clothes is we need beautiful clothes to wear every day. So I was feeling like a lot of people would just spend the money on a special occasion instead of spending the money on every day and elevating that a little more. So I've always told my customers I wanted my clothes to be their favorite pair of pants, their favorite blouses, and go with them and wear the clothes to the ground and just have fun with it. So I always wanted to produce everything either in the US or the country I come from, Argentina, to, kind of employ my people. So that's kind of what we did. I have seamstress and pattern makers and cutters here in the US, and we make everything kind of made to measure. We have a collection that we can customize pretty much everything to fit your body and highlight it in the best possible way. And then we have what we call a wax collection, which is our best-selling jeans and leggings, and that is produced in Argentina, as well as the swimwear line.
What opportunities do you think are missing in the fashion industry for emerging designers? I know it's even harder for those just starting out now in this landscape, but what opportunities do you think are missing?
I think pretty much there's always opportunities missing. There's not a lot of highlight on the new talent. So I made it a point to myself, especially with COVID, in really trying to employ those really young people that don't have the experience, that don't right now know how to go about it other than just Zooming or texting or sending pictures, to really give them a voice and employ them and run a test. So I've actually created a network with really some amazing young designers that paint and draw and sketch, and trying to collaborate with them. So I would say to young designers, keep really you know, following people that are your idols or people that you want to work with, and send them your work. You know, this is more than ever the time where you've got to be consistent and you've got to show your work. And if they're passionate enough, they will get it.
How have you dealt with that, and how have you pivoted? Have you had any unique challenges? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when COVID broke, I really, and they closed Boston. For me, my main priority was to keep all of my team employed. And I had a big conversation with them and said, look, I am going to pay you no matter what, and we're going to work this out. So I spoke to some other designer friends, and I have a lot of friends that are also in the medical industry, and we kind of became essential because we started creating face masks. And I put a lot of, I really researched a lot what would be the most comfortable face masks. So when nobody was buying silk blouses, we literally were making them 24/7. We sent a big shipment to hospitals, and you know, we were getting the feedback. So now they have the little ear adjustment, and have the nose bridge, and I'm working on trying to get intertwine the filter. So the thing with the filter is then you can't wash them, and these get even softer and softer as you can wash them. So that was one of the ways that we stayed afloat in the beginning, and it was actually very rewarding because we were helping people in the workforce.
We'd love to see some pieces from the collection if you'd like to show us.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me see how we can maneuver this. So I was telling you earlier, Layla, this is one of my favorite tuxedo jackets. It sounds like it would be a little too dressy, but believe me, you wear a pair of red jeans, a black t-shirt, and you just put this jacket on and you feel $1 million. It's like elevating any outfit you have, and you can make it very casual or you can make it very dressy. So this is one of my favorite new jackets in terms of styles. Then a lot of emphasis on the blouses. I'm sorry, some of our bright textiles are in the back, and I'll show you. This is an off-the-shoulder. You can't see it. This is an off-the-shoulder in a tie blouse. It's unbelievable. It really shows the neckline, and it's very playful with the tie and not super fitted. So it fits a lot of different body types. Let me walk you over here that we have a little bit of more color. These are our new silk cargo pants for a little bit more of
those are incredible. Oh my goodness.
It's fun. You can really wear them with sneakers or high heel.
Snake printed silk. That's amazing.
Yeah, it feels amazing on. It's a silk charmeuse. It's an elastic waistband, and then it has the little buckles and pockets in the back with the gold buttons. See that?
Nice. The gold button detail is really
it's fun. And then if you want, they come on request with gold zippers. A little bit of fall is so luxurious. This is a velvet jacket with a swing in the back. It really kind of changes color as you move, and then the silk lining in the burgundy as well. Then a lot of floral. One of my favorites is this green. This kind of transition from spring, but we're getting more of the fall textiles soon. We're a little delayed. This is one of our fall textiles in the python. This is the back. It has a bow. It has a swing, and then it's just a simple kind of fitted long sleeve T-shirt with the swing in the back and the bow.
That's very cool. It's unique.
It's simple, but it looks great on. This is a little duster coat. You see, it has a very long tie. So basically, you can leave it hanging, or you can kind of drape it into like a scarf, or you can leave it open with jeans. It looks amazing. Then a lot of the earth tones. This is one of our best-selling bodies in terms of a blouse, and then these trims from Italy that make it a little more fun. Yeah, these are the other color. This is another one of our best-selling jackets, the rocker with, I think, I don't know if you can see the zippers.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then these are our wax-coated denim. This is the new color in burgundy. We have a new sage green. And then talking about talent, I've teamed up with Eloisa Fitzgerald, who's an amazing painter and jewelry artist from Brazil originally. And she's done these amazing camouflage, where are they? I'm trying to find them. Pants. Give me 2 seconds, girls.
Great. Take your
Oh,
time.
this is another one of the textiles that I'm obsessed with.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this is pretty.
Silk as well?
It's silk. Everything is silk. Oh, these are the silk. These are the camouflage pants. Let me see if I can put them on the floor and I can zoom into them, because you should see the detail. I don't know if you can see it very well.
Are they also the wax denim?
Yeah, they're the wax denim. They're hand painted, and they actually pair really well with this blouse.
Oh, that's a very cool look. I like that a lot. That's beautiful.
And then we also have them in green camo, but we just sold them too. But these are kind of one of my weaknesses. They're like super comfortable. I'm going to bring them here and see if I can show them a little better, so you can see all the strokes of paint and all the colors. This is one of the things that on camera, I don't think
It's hard to show.
but
Kind of a metallic paint.
it's
That's
an
very cool.
yeah.
It's
It's
very
a
cool.
metallic, very, very like dark indigo, and then it has hues of grays and blacks and a little bit of gunmetal and silver.
That's some
Yeah,
really incredible artistry. It's beautiful.
thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you for bringing us along a little bit and sharing a little bit about your journey. And it was so great to get to know the collection.
Thank you, thank you, and we'll be in touch. I'll show you more of the pieces as they come.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much. Leah, Daniela, that was amazing. So I just want to say, as a stylist, and you guys know I love style too, Daniela's blazers, and it is blazer weather right now, are unbelievable. They fit so perfectly. They're so soft. They're perfect for Zoom. So if you've got all of your blouses from Bloomingdale's, you can now upgrade and go next level with Daniela's collection. I'm also going to say I'm like bananas for the wax pants. The wax little kind of stretch pull-on pant is the most comfortable thing I've ever worn, but it's chic and it's sexy. So I hope you guys will check out Daniela's collection. I have a lot of it in my closet because I love her dearly, and it's never been more right than in this moment. So I love it. Thank you so much, Daniela. Thank you so much, Leah. That was really a great presentation. I enjoyed it. All right, guys. So up next, you are going to meet Edgar Artie, VP Relationship Manager with Berkshire Bank. We're delighted and honored to have him here. Thank you so much for joining us, Edgar. I'm so happy you're here. We need biz.
I am super. When I saw this, I got super excited, not only just because we're here to represent you for Berkshire Bank and what we do for the community, but in my former life, I actually owned a women's boutique in Boston. I am one of the 2 co-owners of Mod Boston in Dorchester, Boston, Mass. If you're, Tanisha, your thing's on mute. You're on mute.
I'm alive and I know Mod, and that is rad.
Yes,
That's amazing.
I know.
I love it. I had no idea, Edgar. That's amazing. Wow, you put it all together for me. It's an honor to have you. You know all sides of this business. We need you.
No, definitely is exciting. And I was like, what? To be able to talk about Mod, this was back in 2005 when we opened. At the time when we did it and the location in Dorchester, it was kind of like out of the box, right? Mm-hmm. We had a lot of support from the city. Mayor Menino kind of like allowed us to do whatever we wanted, because we actually, my partner who also owned the building, actually allowed us to do all the renovations. We hired the same architect that did Valentino down in Newberry Street to do our storefronts. And we were the first location not to have grates, as an initiative, not to have grates in the front of the building. So it was a big deal for the city. We got a lot of support. The rollout was great. We ran it for a good number of years from, I want to say from 2005 till about 2009. And then the economic downturn, the first one, kind of affected us. And we were actually looking to move into the online space. This was early on online as well. And, but it was a great run. We were able to serve a lot of the wonderful women in the community, and also kind of open eyes for a lot of the people in the community too, because I know people who actually came from Maude, moved on to their things, whether they were designing, stylists, and just, entrepreneurs on their own. I was glad to be a part of that for the city. So so that's why I'm so excited to just be here. Not only a banker, but to talk to that.
Thank you for introducing that, because I did not put two and two together that you were Maude. That is unbelievable. I love learning that. And, you obviously are now the relationship manager at Berkshire Bank. I mean, what an incredible 360 career-wise.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I went to school for economics and, business and entrepreneurship. So that was a passion of mine. And once we figured out, what we were going to do, I actually took some time off, went back to school, and I said, you know what, finance, you'll never go wrong in finance, right? So got involved in banking, been in banking for, a number of years, been able to help a lot of people in the community as far as, anything from, so my job, let me go back. So my job as a VP relationship manager, it's to, create innovative strategies and partnerships to move, the dial forward for where we're at economically. And also my commitment is to the clients to provide that concierge, if you will. It's almost like being a buyer or a stylist. So I provide a concierge service to all of my clients, from soup to nuts, whether it's just personal banking and you have goals to, say, buy a house, or just on your savings, emergency funds, those things on a personal level. I'm able to do that without an entry. So a lot of people think when you're dealing with a personal banker, you have to come in with, $500,000 or $250,000, whatever the case may be. There is no entry with me. I try to approach it, whereas if you're going to go to a bank, why not deal with someone like myself who can give you that one-on-one service from soup to nuts? There's no waiting in line. I'm a phone call away. I service all my clients. I'm pretty much 24 hours, 7 days a week. My wife can go crazy sometimes, but that's my commitment first. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to do that for our clients, especially the people in the community. We we cater to a lot of the people in the community and provide those services. Excuse me, one moment. Let me just. No, so, being able to provide that service for all the clients and being able to, especially with businesses, we were in the forefront of helping a lot of the community business, especially with COVID and the PPP strategy that they had rolled out. We were first and foremost to help a lot of the businesses, get in front of that and be able to properly apply and then receive funds. And then from there, we were able to build relationships, because they were like, oh my goodness, my bank that I was banking for so long, where there were the big box banks, kind of pushed them away and were like servicing other customers, whether delivered or not. We were able to jump in and kind of assist in making sure that those clients were taken care of from top to bottom. And then from that, we gained those relationships. So, it's always a win-win. And when you have, like I said, a relationship bank or a partner, they're like, they're there for you 100% of the way. So I always try to encourage people and my clients, use me as best as you can, because whatever your goals are, big or small, we're here to help you 100%. And if you're looking to even start a business, we're in front of a lot of these incubator spaces. We conduct a lot of town halls and community meetings to just kind of put people together and make sure that that synergy is happening all the time, 24/7. So yeah, that's pretty much my job for the bank. But again, this is exciting because I get to see some beautiful fashion, sip some cocktails with some beautiful attendees, and being able to kind of do my thing. It's kind of bring me back to where I was back in the day.
Yeah, it's just like you're in the boutique with us tonight. You're
Right,
here.
so this is
Feel
cool.
to us. I know you know how to do this. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. You mentioned PPP, you mentioned obviously being there as a small business bank and being very friendly to business and artists and entrepreneurs. You know, I went through all of that, and we had a large bank relationship and a small bank relationship. And frankly, the local bank relationship came through in a matter of days, you know, with our relief and with help and with personal assistance. And it was a real eye opener. Do you think that the pandemic has brought local and Main Street businesses back together? Do you think it's going to change things permanently for how each of those parties deals with one another and gets us kind of, you know, to the other side?
Yeah, I think what it did is open the eyes of not only the banks to realize that their customer is very important and they need to be able to connect with them. I want to speak to more so the smaller banks. They were actually able to really kind of take focus and hand carry their clients to where they needed to be, because they were able to focus on making sure that all the requirements were, you know, taken care of for them to be able to qualify, you know, just be in line, because, you know, you're dealing with government. And even when the rollout was happening, there was a kind of a back and forth and push and pull. And with that, there were a lot of questions, even on our end. With Berkshire, actually, we were on it way before even the initial drop happened. So every day we were getting, you know, kind of updates of how we're going to help the customer. We also knew that the big box banks, you know, I won't name any names, but we knew that a lot of them were going to drop some of their clients and focus on the big companies that were, you know, invested in multi-millions of dollars. Yeah, it makes sense for them, whatever the case may be. So we know that some of that drop off, we wanted to come in and be able to scoop them up and be able to assist those businesses 100% every step of the way. So we were working almost 24 hours a day prior to the release of the funds, and then up until just, again, making sure that every, you know, client was aware, and whomever we didn't, we kind of sent out the, you know, the message that, hey, come on in, we're going to have a Zoom meeting. And these are where we're community leaders. I mean, we've had, even Ayanna Presley at one point came into one of our meetings just trying to put the focus on us to let people know, hey, this bank is here to help you, to making sure that, you know, everything is here for you, you know, we're here to assist you in every step of the way for the PPP. So I think what it did is it brought us together to the client, and then now they're starting to see, okay, this is what, you know, this is where I need to be, you know, moving forward, whether it's banking with us for, you know, their business, personal, and such. And if not with us, it also gives them leverage to talk to their banks that they've been with for years and ask them, hey, what are you doing for me, right? So it was kind of a win-win situation for all of us.
That's so great. I just want to say it means so much to me. And the word on the street was and is that Berkshire stepped up and really held the hands of the local businesses and the entrepreneurs and founders. And that's what tonight we're filled. That's, you know, that's why we're all here. And so it means so much that you're our sponsor tonight. And you're here and you're talking to us. And, you know, we need to reconnect with our banks and have experts like you help us navigate and get those steps. I'll leave you with this last question. Based on that, what can you share with us that you've seen entrepreneurs and creative and innovation? What have you seen people put to work, and what are some of the things that maybe you can share with our audience before we let you go? And we don't want to, but we will. I'd love to just hear that.
I'll tell you, and I'll just be very frank, the women out here are working. The women are working and they are starting businesses. They're not allowing this pandemic to hold them back. It is so wonderful and refreshing to see how hard and just how they're just withstanding the women of the community and just, you know, nationwide that are really putting in the work to see their either their hobby or whatever they're putting in, together into fruition. And I have to say that's something that we talk about all the time. These women are out here working. They're working it and they are working.
I love it when you say
They're
that.
making it happen. And because of that, you know, it makes us work for them as well, right? Because we want to make sure that we're providing every resource that we can to making sure that they are successful. Their success is our success as well, right?
That's right.
Owners like yourselves, just the last guest host was saying, listen, we got these masks up and ready and was running. That was one of the key things that I saw. A lot of women pulling out their sewing machines. It was like, hey, let's make these masks because there's a good opportunity for make some money, right? But just, you know, other avenues. I've seen home delivery services, you know, just a lot of people, and then asking questions. How can I get this thing to start a business and go from there? And that, I have to say that's something that I've noticed in this pandemic. The women are working and it's great. It's amazing.
That's great. I know Tanisha just got a great question. So Tanisha, I'll turn it over to you for Edgar. We can't let you go yet. You got to hang on.
Yes. So the question, let's see. Yes, I think I just had it, but then I lost it. Okay, so does Berkshire Bank provide any sort of financial consultations for small business owners? If not, could you provide a reference or two?
Sure. So
And that's from Isabella.
what I would say is you would want to get in contact with your your local My Bankers, right? So check out our Revix labs. I'll type in our information. A lot of us are specialized in those individual asks because we're focused on the community, and then we have those resources that we can put you in front of. So yes, in a short answer, yes. Shorter answer, you would want to reach out to either myself or Carlene Porcina. She's great. She is like A1 in the community. It's funny because her previous life is nonprofit, and her connections run so deep. It's so funny, like we run into the same circles, but her connections to the community and even in the fashion world that I've noticed was super deep. So I would say you would want to reach out to any one of us, and then we'd be able to give you that hand-carried kind of catered service to whatever you need. But yeah, in the short term, yes.
Thank you so much, Edgar. I know there's going to be more questions for you, but you're going to put all your info in the link. So we'll be it forever. I don't want to lose you again because we got.
No, it was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure.
To have you here too. I mean, you've just added so much. So thank you so much for being here. And everybody will have, don't worry, you'll have his info. We got to keep moving. I know Tanisha's giving me the look. Okay. So thank you so much, my friend. We are moving on to one of, it's tough. I mean, it's great. Like every single person that we are seeing and talking to is amazing. This is incredible. I know that I was originally the one who was supposed to shepherd you into this incredible moment, but I'm actually going to turn it back over to Tanisha because she deserves all the credit. She worked with Alicia Daniels, who deserves incredible credit for this next piece that you're just going to love these guests. You're just not going to believe it. I'm still pinching myself, actually. So Tanisha, it's all you, girl.
Hello, everyone. So Greta, thank you very much. I am so excited and so happy. I'm like literally like all smiles because this was literally a dream come true for me. Interviewing these iconic individuals that we are about to hear from. And I just want to thank everyone that was involved with making this happen. Alicia Daniels, Greta Monahan, Joni Friedman. I feel like I'm accepting an award right now. I feel like, but it literally is, it was truly an honor. And I literally was like in tears after the interview because I couldn't believe that it happened to me. But without further ado, this next portion of the event is an exclusive look inside of really his life, his journey, and everything as an entrepreneur, how he's built his billion-dollar business. Tommy Hilfiger and his wife, oh my God, it's just amazing. So Mrs. Hilfiger and Tommy Hilfiger, they are up next, and you guys, grab a seat. I want you guys to really, it's a very intimate interview, but you guys, I want you to enjoy it, and we will see you in a minute. So today we welcome Dee Oklepo and Tommy Hilfiger. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the United States of Fashion Virtual Summit. We have two amazing fashion entrepreneurs and luxury brand founders with us today, and I'm just so excited to jump in on the conversation and to really just get started with everything. I have so many questions, and I'm just so excited that you guys are here. So thank you and welcome to the conversation and the discussion for today. So Tommy Hilfiger, we know the name because of your true brand that just last year generated $4.7 billion in revenue. But what is truly sensational is your legacy of supporting young designers and artists from industries that in the past, fashion would have never reached out to. You are credited with leading collaboration with pop culture icons, pop culture movements, and now on the cutting edge of VR and lifestyle electronics. So that's the macro level of all that you do. The micro level of what you do seems to encompass the ever engagement with our supporting of the youth, really to donate your time and money to many institutions and charities whose missions are to really develop young talent. So here we are in the pandemic, as we were just talking about off camera, in the pandemic, and what is hopefully rock bottom of social injustice and galvanization of overdue, reformation of what the United States of fashion and everything that we need for our country. And so I just welcome you guys, and I'm just so excited. And I also want to introduce my co-host, Greta Monahan, entrepreneur extraordinaire. You are so amazing. You're definitely someone who has been an inspiration to me personally and professionally. And you are just a dynamite entrepreneur and CEO of Greta Monahan Enterprises, Greta Lux, Greta Cole Beauty, Greta Spa, actually G Spa at Foxwoods. And so you own so many different businesses, and I just welcome all of you and just thank you so much for taking your time today to be on this call. And so I just welcome you, and Greta, you can take it from there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. And thank you, Tanisha, for having me. I am really excited to welcome Dee and Tommy. Thank you guys so much for being here. I can say for myself, this is such an extreme honor, and just someone who has, always had the fashion dream and been ever inspired by all that you have done and many of basically everything that Tanisha had said and more. So I think what sets you apart, you're in a class by yourself, but what really sets it apart for me is your humanity. That is not a trend to you. Because we've watched you and we've all learned from you. So I think now more than ever, we really appreciate and crave this conversation with you. So thank you so much for being here. I have some questions that I'd love to ask you. I'll start out with you, Tommy. This is about early life entrepreneurship. So with being the second of 9 children and having humble beginnings, how has this helped shape the way that you see the world and communicate with others, both in the industry and on the outside world?
I think when you grow up with a large family, you learn that no two people are alike. However, we're all alike in many ways, but maybe we have different tastes and different goals and desires and personalities, but we're all similar in many, many respects, but at the same time, no two of us in the family of 9 children were alike at all.
I can say, I can speak to that having 2 boys. They're nothing alike. It's only 2. That's really amazing. So Dee, I have a question for you. I'm really excited to ask you this question. Because it's the question, which is, how can we encourage more women to start businesses and support them as they scale? As you know, I'm a small business owner. I have dreams to grow and be a global brand. Of course, I can relate to that as a female. I think owning my own business is the best thing I ever did for myself. But I talk to women every day who call me with the struggles. So what type of advice and wisdom can you impart on that?
I mean, for me, I think, leading women just to be an example is one of the best things that you can do to encourage other women. It's the same that applies with my children. I think to try to always lead by example. I mean, what I try to do is I've always tried to surround myself with people that are a lot smarter than I am. I have many women mentors and many women that inspire me. I mean, I think women are the ultimate multitaskers. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
they really, really are. And Tommy knows I'm like an organizational freak about
OCD.
everything. Yeah, I'm OCD.
OCD, you're like us then.
OCD, okay.
and as you are outnumbered here,
But I
I mean,
love
Tommy
that.
knows.
I love that about her. I love how
women
organized she is.
Women are so incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And so I just like to see, I have, lots of friends in the business and out of the business. And I have a lot of, incredibly bright, smart women that I went to high school with that also went on. I went to a small all-girls school, and I'm really impressed in what my my classmates went on to do. And I just think we're super strong, we're super bright. I think one of our faults, which I believe we're getting better at, is I just think women have to be kinder to other women, and we really do have to stop being catty and jealous of one another. This is one thing I've always felt like women, and I think we're getting over it. We're overcoming, we've overcome this kind of nasty cycle that we got into. But I think that's one of the most important things, is that we really help one another and not to be catty and jealous. I think men in the past historically have not been like that, whereas women in the past have been. I don't know why that is. It's not necessary, but I think if we can get over that, and then, historically we've been the nurturers and the ones at home, cooking and I just think that we need to leave that kind of in the past and embrace all the strengths and our organizational skills that we have.
That's great. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I turned 50 this summer. So June was my 50th birthday. And I've been so encouraged watching, and I know you have kids, they're in their 20s, but watching women in their 20s and starting out their entrepreneurial paths, whether it be post-college or not, or whatever they're doing, really help each other, and even call and reach out to me to get that help. And I thought, wow, it's so great, because I remember that wasn't always a promised thing. You didn't know if you were going to reach out to someone and necessarily get that help from another female. So I completely relate to what you're saying, and I do think it's incredibly encouraging. Even Tanisha, you've done that with us just here in just starting in Boston and beyond. So
yes, Yes, I resonate with that, because I'm the youngest of 4 girls. And my mom, when she raised us and just being brought up around so many women, I had so many amazing examples of what I wanted to be and how I wanted to, run my business. My mom was an entrepreneur as well. My father was an entrepreneur, and they ran multiple businesses. And so for me, I had that very positive, upbringing around creativity and entrepreneurship and all those things. And, as you get older, obviously branch out from your family and you meet different people, and that community of support typically isn't there as much. And so I had it with my family, but when you're, being an entrepreneur and you're running your own business, there's so many things that come into play, and you really need support from others. And so I feel like we have definitely, like you said, Dee, have gotten better at that as a community of women and supporting each other. I know for myself personally, and professionally, I love surrounding myself with women and working with other women, having my whole advisory board as women, and, just all of those things. So girl power.
I want to
I
say
love it.
one more thing. I think also in the past, I know personally speaking, I've been embarrassed to ask for help or advice. I think sometimes I feel like, maybe it goes back to the way I'm raised, but sometimes I feel like, it's like the child that is afraid to raise their hand in school. So I would like to say,
I can relate to that.
not to be afraid to ask for help or advice. You're not going to look stupid. And I've had to actually overcome that myself. I think
Oh my God,
bad
absolutely.
about yourself, or you feel like you don't have it together or have the answers if you seek advice or help. So I think that's something important to keep.
That is such a gem. Yes, that is like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing that you said that, because I have those feelings even within my own business and things that I do. I'm like, okay, if I ask for this, they might think that I don't know, and everyone, I feel like, encounters those challenges. And so that is something that is definitely a gem for everyone to take home with them.
I think men like it when women in particular ask them for help, because they think that they could be giving and generous with even just their knowledge, maybe not necessarily writing a check, but being able to share their knowledge with them. I know when women ask me for advice, I view it as a compliment. And if I could share some of my experiences or just give them a word of advice, it doesn't cost me anything, but it makes them feel good and may be very helpful to them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I asked them for a lot of advice.
You do, yeah.
I asked her for a lot of advice.
Oh my goodness.
I'm asking her more and more every single day. What do you think of this? I just made her smell all of the new fragrances for Tommy and Tommy Girl.
Oh my
God, that's so exciting.
That's so exciting.
So at the end of the day, I really don't care what I like. I care what she likes.
Right. So that's great that you guys kind of bounce off of each other, and you have together. Yeah, you're together in that way. That's amazing. Yes, absolutely.
And it's so good to hear you say that, Tommy, out loud, to invite that to also share with us and have more of a female audience here. Like, we like that. That's good. We're not going to discount you, dismiss you, or think ill of you as if you're don't have your act together. On the contrary, it's engagement and it's quality, and it gives us an opportunity to also share with you. I think I think on a human level, again, a humanistic level, it's so important. I mean, obviously in your marriage and relationship, it's divine, but definitely the secret sauce. But I say that to my husband all the time. I'm like, you're my greatest advisor. I love, this feels, would say the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't bring me fragrances, so he's one beat behind you guys.
Yes.
I think smart women, smart people in general, ask a lot of questions.
Yes. That's a really great thing to lead with, and thank you for putting that in. I have another question for you, Tommy. Many of us have challenges that could hinder our growth both personally and professionally. That's a given. With having undiagnosed dyslexia, how were you able to overcome your challenges and build one of the biggest iconic brands in the world?
Have you ever heard of the expression, fake it until you make it?
Heard of it? I say it all the
time.
Absolutely. People have given me nasty shout outs for saying that, actually. Because I definitely, my dad was dyslexic, and I 1,000% have a little, I have definitely a little LD. I don't know exactly quite what it is exactly, but it takes me a beat, my processing, and I fake it until I make it. So I love it. Please share.
No, it was very difficult for me in school because I could not read. And I didn't really know what was wrong. I just assumed I was not very smart. And my sisters were getting really great grades, and my father thought I was just not paying attention, misbehaved, and I was always the one who was in trouble. So I took advantage of that unknowingly by daydreaming and picturing myself becoming successful.
Wow.
So as I pictured myself becoming successful, I figured out a path. I figured out a way to get there. But it was full of obstacles. It still is. And I think if you look at these obstacles as opportunities and challenges, then you'll somehow be able to reach those goals, or whatever goal you put in sight.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that you're creative. You know, you had the daydreaming and the visualization. We now know how important that is to all of us, not just in our personal journey of wellness, but also in success. And that's incredible that kind of naturally was, you know, the how this manifested, this ability to manifest.
Manifestation. It is manifesting part of it, because I think that if you picture yourself in a certain situation, you can easily get there, or you can get there easier than if you don't picture yourself in that position or that situation. So I was continually thinking that eventually I would get there, but I always held that photograph or that visual of myself way, way, way far in the distance, but as sort of as a goal and as a goalpost.
Wow.
Wow,
that's really incredible.
That's so inspirational, Tommy, because I feel like you might be my brother from another mother, because I just feel like literally what you just said is exactly how I've been able to overcome so many obstacles in my business and even personally as well, but especially in my business, because my background is retail management and visual merchandising. And I work for a lot of luxury brands. And it was always something where I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and own my own business, but it was like, okay, where do I start? Like, what do I do? And so having sounding board of other people that will kind of be like, okay, this is kind of what you need to do, or just having other support of other people is great. But when you can really say, okay, I don't have all the tools, but I'm going to find a way. Like, I need to find a way. Even when starting the first fashion incubator of Boston, I had so many naysayers and people like, you shouldn't do that. Like, there's no, fashion is not in Boston. People think of Boston as anything fashionable. And I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of fashion people here. There are a lot of designers. There are a lot of boutique owners. There's so much to give. There's so much to offer here. And so I had so many people like, you shouldn't do that. I don't think that's a good idea. You should move on to this or move on to that. And I was like, no, you know what? I can see it. I picture myself there, and I know that it's going to happen. No matter how long it takes, I know it's going to happen. And so even when starting my business in the beginning stages, I used to tell myself, you know what? If I fail, then I fail. And at least I tried. But a failure is someone who doesn't try. And so, that just really, really is amazing and so inspirational that someone like you, that you have those experiences and you have those battles that you've had to overcome. To hear that is just amazing. So thank you.
Never give up.
Yes, never give up. No. Never.
And dare to dream, right? You really gotta dare to dream it, because like, I think what I will never forget about that statement is just saying that visualization was so meaningful in forging and creating and pioneering that road. So really, really great.
I think there is also the visualization. When you can visualize it, your subconscious leads you to act in ways that, wind up manifesting it. It's also like a subconscious thing. I think if you're in the back of your mind, you go through the motions, whether you're conscious of it or subconscious of it, but it's so important.
Absolutely.
And if you keep working towards something, it's eventually going to happen. And you don't give up. Like you said, never give up. If you keep walking towards something and saying, okay, I'm pushing for this and this is what I want, it's going to come to you. And so all the things that you're wishing for and hoping for, nothing happens right away. I always tell the designers that I mentor and that we highlight and showcase, I'm like, things don't happen overnight. Do you think of Tommy Hilfiger or these luxury brands, do you think that things happened overnight for them. It doesn't. And so you have to realize that there's a business behind the business, and you just have to really just be patient and really just be diligent and passionate about what you're doing, because I feel like the passion is definitely what will drive you to really continue with it as well. Not just the, you know, financial part of it, but also have the passion for it. So definitely.
Totally agree.
Yes.
So, Tanisha, do I have time? Do you want me to do one more question or two on my side?
I think there's a student from Mass College of Art that had a question. Yes.
Love that. I have that right here. So for you both, this is a student question from Sophia. She is actually at the Mass College of Art as we speak, and she wanted to know what your plan is or your thoughts on incorporating environmental consciousness into your brand. She has a part A to part B. The part B is, and what are some of the sustainable efforts that you see in the industry moving forward?
Okay, I would like to first of all say that we are leaders in sustainability in the entire industry. And 5 years ago, we figured out how to wash denim without water as a starting point, because we did a study and found that the water that was used for washing denim had poisonous indigo dyes in it, and it went into the rivers, the streams, the oceans, and really was harming the environment. So that was the first step we took 5 years ago. But prior to that, we began a big recycling effort and converting our offices to all LED and so on. But now we're using fabrics and yarns that are made from plastic. We're really fully baked as far as upcycling goes. We're really wasting nothing. And if you look at our Instagram, we came out with a big statement just recently about basically saving the planet and all the things we are doing as a brand. So we are not taking it lightly. We look at it as priority, in addition to being a diverse brand, and I would say doing all the right things for humanity.
Yes. Amazing. And that actually coincides with my next question to you, because while reading about your Make It Possible project, it was just so inspiring. And I want to say that I was just so moved, and I'm just very, very just inspired by the whole project. And I feel like it's so necessary. It's just such a necessary project for just our youth and just the future of fashion and sustainability and all that we're doing. Is exactly what the next generation of designers need. But can you give us a little insight about the project, and then also what your goal is for the program and the importance to you for collaboration and partnerships with emerging brands?
Well, with the Make It Possible campaign, we decided that anything is possible. And if you put your mind to it and you put your passion and your effort into it, you can actually make a difference. So by 2024, we said we were going to be fully sustainable as a brand, because it takes a while to get there with producing the amount of quantity we produce in the world. So Make It Possible was the overarching campaign for literally making everything possible.
Yes.
In terms of collaboration, I really believe that collaborating with young designers and with people who are even not designers, but coming to us with ideas, is inspiring to us. Whether it was working with Zendaya or Gigi or Lewis Hamilton, or even a lot of unknowns who we work with, I really believe that in order to keep the brand eternally young and relevant, we need outside ideas. And the outside ideas come from all different walks of life, all different types of people with many different ideas. And we like to say that we're baking them into our brand.
Baking, that sounds delicious. No, I no, absolutely. That's so amazing. And we're just living in such a different time right now. Things are just so different. I feel like consumers are craving more personalization and just more creativity and all of those things. And so I feel like you guys have literally gone and you're really being the pioneer for what that really means. And it's never been clearer that we must support and uplift each other now more than ever. So providing education, resources, and really exhibiting love for our community is number one at MadeINcubator and my brand and what we do. But we've been fortunate to have amazing supporters, and we've made great strides, but there is much progress to be made around the industry barriers that continue to keep women of color in the fashion and innovation sector from succeeding and just accessing capital and all of these things. And so I wanted to ask you what your advice and or support that you can give to overcome these barriers in the industry.
Well, I think it's all changing now. And I think that the door is wide open. I think a lot of corporations have come to the conclusion that they have not done enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to pride ourselves on sort of waving the flag for equality and diversity, because we have been that brand for over 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm saying over 35 years, it's prior to me starting Tommy Hilfiger, I started my own company called People's Place.
People's Place,
People's
yeah.
Place,
Yes.
my chain of stores for the people.
Yes.
And now we've expanded our mentorship program. We've expanded our collaborative program. We are really leaders in it as well.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. And I feel like things have changed when it comes to corporations looking at, you know, minority businesses and in some sectors. And I feel like there's still some progress. I feel like if you don't know someone that is at that organization that is like in higher level, it's sometimes hard to contact these people to kind of get attention from them, to kind of submit your information and to, you know, form partnerships and collaborations. And so I feel like in that sense, there's some work to be done, but I do feel like companies like yours and other organizations that are looking into a better way of doing that and better practices and how that works is just a game changer, because there's so much more that we can be doing. And we have amazing businesses and really businesses that really need to be put out there on a global scale and supported. So I'm so happy to hear that you guys have done that.
I think it is changing as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it needed the large corporations to get behind it.
Yes.
And really walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
Exactly.
And we pride ourselves on doing what we say we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we will continue to do that.
That's amazing. That's so amazing to hear. And I'm sure our viewers and our attendees for the event are going to be like, oh my God, jumping up and down. Just to know that there, you know, is a major organization out there that is willing to do that and to, you know, just push the next generation of, you know, not even just designers, but just business owners to the next level and to help them scale. And that's what, you know, we do at the incubator program, obviously on a smaller scale right now. But I foresee for the future that it being very, very big, but that's exactly what we promote as well. And so I feel like our missions of really supporting the business community and the fashion community and really being a support to them is really a great marriage. So I thank you so much for that. And then also, Dee, I have a question for you. Are there any business strategies that you have encountered in your career that have been most helpful in building your brands? And how do you foresee new types of business relationships forming? With your roots being from Rhode Island, are there any localized resources that could maybe support women-owned businesses and designers within the region? Do you know, or?
That's a loaded question. Well, let me start back at the beginning.
Yeah.
As far as business strategies go, you know, look, we've sort of touched upon this earlier on. I think for me, you know, having a lot of patience, first of all. You know, we're talking about supporting businesses and that, but we all know, especially in a time like this, you know, it's not easy. It's not
No.
easy to start a business, to scale a business. So first of all, you have to have a lot of patience, and a lot of creativity as well. And I think, with the pandemic and that we've learned how to, you've had to pivot a little bit. No one can conduct business as usual.
Yeah.
So I believe that being flexible, being creative, being patient, and being diligent, like you said. This is not something that is for the, people that give up easily should just forget it.
Exactly. Yes, you have to have tough skin. Definitely.
That's so true.
It just requires so much patience, and so I think what is interesting is, especially when Tommy talks about being relevant and young people, I think particularly young people in that are discovering how to launch businesses using technology that they understand so much better than myself or Tommy. And I think they're leading the way, whether it's, they're being so creative on platforms like TikTok and things I don't even quite understand. I'm over 50 and, so it's interesting. I think that the young people are sort of going to lead the way and show us how to go forward in business. With their understanding of things. And I just think one other thing is what works for one person in business doesn't necessarily always translate and work for another. I think finding your individual voice and sort of your inner thing of what you really believe work for you. Tommy gives me a lot of advice, but at the end of the day, his whole business is on a whole different scale than mine. And we're, two different people. So, I can't necessarily follow his advice exactly, because then I'd be out of business.
Yeah, your journey will be different.
On a whole different scale.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I definitely, I feel the same way. It's like, it depends on, the person, it depends on what they're doing and all of those things to kind of help to find the resources around them. And I always say with the businesses that I talk to and the designers, I am always like, look around you, see who, you can tap into in your network and in their network to kind of help you get to the next level. Because when you try to just say, okay, I have this friend that does this, and you're trying to stick with one person or one particular group of people, you're going to stay there. So you really need to branch out and to network with other people and get other people in your area that can help support your business. And if you're going to an event, say, okay, I want to go to this event to meet this person. I'm going to meet this person, that person. I want to talk to them about what I'm doing. And hopefully, there can be something that comes from it. Because even for me, my university program it's called the Hot House University, and it's in partnership with Microsoft. And we provide seminars and workshops and all of these things. And everyone initially, when I told them I was going to, approach Microsoft, they're like, Microsoft is so huge. I don't think they're going to partner with you. And so it's just things like that. It's just like, when you believe in yourself and you believe in something so much, you can really, really make things happen and turn things around into, for people to really see the good in it. And so with having, with you being a woman in business, I know that there will be so many people tuning in, and also myself, that's just like, it's just so amazing to hear from you and your, with all your success and what you've gone through, and just to hear how you've kind of navigated those challenges. So that's so amazing. And then also, Tommy, I wanted to ask you, do you see any pathways within local communities, such as beloved Boston, to pivot in fashion from COVID, and platforms to build more Black-owned businesses, and possible insights from your past collaborations with music and sports and entertainment?
Well, I think that if you use fashion, art, music, entertainment, and sports as a springboard, it will benefit you in expanding your brand. And I think that if you can be involved in as many events as possible, whether they're shopping events, charity events, to get your name out there, because I think that if your name becomes known, people are going to pay attention.
Yes.
Your name is not known, and they hear your name, maybe they won't look twice. But
Right.
I think you have to do whatever you can possibly do to get your name out there and be known for uh, doing what you do.
Right.
And there are many different ways to do that. As I said, that, you know, different charity events, what you're doing with the incubator, being involved in whether it's local artists or the local radio stations, television stations, performances, sports teams. I think that you use those as springboards and
Yes.
use those to as stepping stones.
Yes. And that is so key. Fashion and entertainment go hand in hand. And so I know that when we have events, typically when we were having live events, in-person events, we would always incorporate some type of music or something. And my background is actually, before getting into retail, I was a singer, actress, model, dancer, songwriter, everything. And so I went to Berklee College of Music. And so for me, my passion is also music with fashion. And so I always look for gateways to kind of incorporate the two because they're both just passions of mine as well. But I feel like that's a smart thing to do for other people that are tuning in and listening, to kind of be creative with what you're doing and not just sticking to one platform or one thing. It's great to be creative and think outside of the box. And that's really what sets you apart.
I think so. And when I started dressing musicians in the early days,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was Aaliyah or even Lenny Kravitz and people like that, it was because I was piggybacking on their fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And when their fans saw them wearing my clothes, their fans would come to me.
Yes.
So I think it's a pretty simple philosophy. And obviously people are doing it with influencers now.
Yes. Yes.
Media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer free because sometimes you have to pay the celebrity. But even if you pay them in clothes or pay them in kind, it benefits you because it exposes you to a wider audience.
Yes. I think that is like so great. And the fact that you were able to capitalize off of working with these people like Aaliyah and Lenny Kravitz and all of those things. And, sometimes when you're a smaller brand, you may not have the opportunity, but if you were to reach out, you never know because now social media, you can pretty much reach anyone. If they want to get back to you is a different thing, but you can pretty much, direct message people and email people and things like that. So I think it's become a lot easier now to kind of reach out to people to get collaborations involved and to partner with organizations than it was before. And like I said, thinking outside of the box is the best thing, especially now during these COVID times and this pandemic. It's like you really have to be creative with how you're really building your business and what you're actually doing to sustain yourself. So I feel like that's just amazing. And I have a question. Yes. Did you want to? Oh, I'm sorry, Tommy. Did I?
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're
Yeah.
thinking correctly.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. And so we have a question from Vicky Luan. She's from the School of Fashion Design in Boston, and she wants to know what are some ways your corporation is using to make garments more sustainable. So I know that we talked about it a little bit.
I think the biggest thing we're looking at is buying fabrics that are made from waste.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could take the philosophy that we want to waste nothing, I really believe that finding fabrics that are made not only from plastic, which has sort of been out there for a while, there are many different inventions and new ideas coming about with making denim out of recycled yarns, even melting down leather that is now being made into yarn. I mean, there are all sorts of different ways to do it, but it really starts with the material.
Yes, I think that that's so amazing. Yeah, I think that that's so amazing, and that will be the new way of doing things. So you guys are, like I said, on the cutting edge of really making that happen and that making that possible. And I have one more question before we close, because I know we don't have much time. And literally, I just want to say I could sit here all day and ask U&D questions. I literally had so many questions. I had to,
don't go.
yes, like I literally, it was so hard for me. I was like, oh my God, I had to narrow this down so much because we had so many questions from students. I had personally so many questions. So I just want to thank you guys so much. And I know that we're on a time schedule, but I have one other question. So this is from Sammy Coraldi. She's also from the School of Fashion Design in Boston. And so she asked, as an artist, is it easy to get carried away by larger than life ideas that don't necessarily pan out in the public/consumer sense? And she said, how do you find a good balance between the artistic side and the consumer side when designing?
Good question.
It's a good question.
It is, yeah.
I really believe that you have to pick a lane and you have to focus in on what you do best and make that great first before you go on to the next.
Yeah.
And basically, Dee has done the same thing with her. She started with handbags and now she's doing footwear.
Yes.
And the result of the success of the handbags and the success of the footwear, she's now going into cashmere, and then she's going to go into home, and then she's going to go into beauty eventually. But you have to take it step by step. And I think a lot of people think, oh, I'll do everything at once.
Exactly. And it's, you know, it's just like a newborn baby. You can't walk, you can't crawl yet. And so it's steps, and you crawl, then you walk. And so, and that's what I try to teach as well. Like nothing happens all at once. You have to be patient and you have to be diligent and really disciplined to really keep it going and to keep your vision alive. And so this is just so incredible for me. Like I can't even put into words how appreciative and excited and just speaking with you too. It's just been like a dream come true. Seriously.
Thank you.
It really has.
You guys have been incredible. I'm going to squeeze in one little question as a career retailer, FIT graduate. Everyone asks it, is retail dead? You went from People's Place to Tommy Hilfiger. And if it isn't, what's the new experience look like?
I think it's going to be live stream shopping. I don't think retail is dead. I think it's how it's presented.
Yes.
Obviously, e-commerce is exploding, but v-commerce, virtual commerce, virtual shopping, I think shopping via avatar, virtual reality. And I really believe that one of the most important new retail opportunities will be through live stream shopping.
That's great. Thank you for that. Thank you guys so much. You've been so generous and this has been so incredible. Thank you both.
Very much.
It's been so amazing. And I will definitely say I would love to get the opportunity to work with you guys and to really be able to bring the vision to life of what we have for MadeINcubator and what we're doing with the emerging designer community and small businesses. And so I just thank you for everything that you've done in the community so far and all the new projects that you're working on. And and anything of what you guys are working on and want to promote and have people, you know, kind of go to the website to kind of look up on it. Feel free to kind of tell the people what new projects you guys have working on as well.
Well, Dee's new website is launching October 15th.
Oh, okay, this is perfect. Dee, you didn't even mention that. I know, he's your PR, so this is great.
I love that. What's the website?
I'm just relaunching a new Dio Clippo website that will be more content based, and you know the one that we have now is more kind of straightforward product. So I want to share with you know our consumers and that more about me and about lifestyle.
Oh, great!
Fun little shares.
Oh, that's so exciting.
That's very exciting. Congratulations. That's really great.
Yes,
Really
it's
inspiring.
a pleasure to be with you.
I have to run. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. I mean, I'm still pinching myself. I know, we just couldn't stop engaging with them. They were amazing and so generous. Thanks so much again to Dee and Tommy Hilfiger for being here with us. And they really care. And it was incredible to be able to do that. I am really, really, really excited to introduce you guys to Jamie Washington. You've already seen her. She is here. She is our Oz. She's making it all happen. Jamie, you're amazing. Thank you so much for putting up with my bad tech practices and like all that you've done in your expertise. I'm turning it over. I know you're going to have questions and answers and chat a little about yourself.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness, this has been fantastic. Yes, we are behind the scenes, just kind of making things happen. And I'm just going to keep it brief. It's just been fun, I really just enjoyed, I just want to say, I really enjoyed the interview with Tommy and Dee, Greta. I mean, just amazing. Even when you talked about visualization, I think that that's just like really so important. And I think, how can I serve? And I really feel that I want to be able to serve, and I'm not going to take too long, working with Fortune 500 companies, professional athletes. A lot of people always ask me, what was my big break? And I love, just looking at how Tommy Hilfiger talked about, how he first started. I started as Justin Timberlake's social media manager, and that turned into, having A-list celebrities to reach out with referrals and running their social media campaigns. And that's kind of what birthed Washtone Media, and we are based here in Boston. And, we've been kind of talking about just pivoting, and things that, we can do and how you can change. And, I just want to say, and make this really quick, that if you feel that you need some sort of assistance with, your e-commerce, your virtual commerce, like Tommy Hilfiger mentioned, people are still buying. Even in a COVID era, people are still buying. People still need to wear clothes. People still need to wear clothes, but it may take you to pivot and change your messaging. So we are actually getting ready to come out with what I'm calling an Instagram growth hack here at Washtone next week. What I've done is basically we have about 53 Instagram accounts that are e-commerce accounts that we manage and run for Fortune 500 companies. I'm under non-disclosure, so I can't really disclose all of them. But basically what we've done is I have looked at all 53 of these amazing accounts that we run, and we've kind of built a case study of, okay, what works, what doesn't work. And I'm going to make this really, really, really simple. If you're interested in getting a free copy of this case study, I will be releasing it next week. So I'm going to put it in the chat. It's info@washtone.com. So it's info@WASHTONE.com. If you send an email, you can even do it today. My team, I run a staff of 18, and we work Monday through Friday, so they will get it. If you put it in the subject line, Instagram hack PDF. Once that PDF is ready with the case study, if you want to get your hands on it, send an email to my team. They will make sure that once we release it, that you have a copy, and it's really full of goodies. And you basically can either look at it, go step by step, integrate it into your Instagram or even your Facebook or LinkedIn marketing, or you can pass it on to one of your assistants and have them to also just implement these strategies. And so that is a gift that Washtone Media would like to give on behalf of MadeINcubator and Tanisha and Greta. We want to be able to give something to the community and those that are in the listening audience. Thank you so much. I'm going back, Greta, to continue to do what we need to do in the back end. Turning it back over to you, girl.
Jamie, you're amazing. Thank you so much for that gift. I'm just going to say this as a 25-year founder, entrepreneur, self-funded business. I'm going to say a lot of people have said to me, like, what would you do in this moment? What would you invest in? I would invest in Jamie. I would invest in Washtone. I would invest in making sure that I'm connected with my audience in this platform and learn from the best. So thank you so much. I can't wait to send the email. I'm like on my text on the side trying to make sure we get our email in there because I want to get that asset. Thank you so much. All right, guys. All right, guys. Next up, Kathy Ben Harris and Grace Gooderl of KB Fashion Productions. So excited you guys are here. Hi. I can't believe we're not in the same room together, but this is great. I love this.
We're so excited to be here tonight. Thank you so much for having us, Tanisha. This is wonderful, and it's always great to see you, Greta.
It's an honor, you guys. I just have to bust out with this first question. Tell us about your business and your exciting new virtual platform. I mean, I know you guys as experts and leaders in fashion, so I've been working with you for years, but I'm super excited to hear about this new venture.
Thank you so much. So for KB Fashion Productions, we really are fashion storytellers, and definitely with COVID, we have expanded into, you know, other areas, and Grace is going to step us through a bit on what we've been doing with our virtual runway. But we're all about telling a brand story and really bringing the audience along and connecting them with the message of the brand or the designer. And we create content for all different platforms. And you've seen our work on billboards, you've seen it, you know, magazines, all different places. And we're really excited about what's going on. You know, one of the silver linings about COVID is really that everywhere can be a runway now. You know, with this virtual platform, don't we think we see runways everywhere?
I love that.
Yes.
I love hearing that from you. I mean, Kathy, you're a vet. I mean, you've done the biggest shows. You've done them from here. You know, you've broken down borders. You went far beyond Boston 20 years ago. I was watching your events and your shows. And so you know this so well. And obviously you guys have come up with this. I love that you're highlighting that we can have runway everywhere. How do you see the evolve? Like, what do you think it's going to mean for connecting customers, designers, and ultimately, you know, supporting small business?
Yeah, no, I'll go for that for sure. Yeah, I mean, the virtual runway platform is really exciting, right? Because like Kathy said, we have such a strong history in telling a brand story, right? And we've usually done that by way of a live event. And that's, you know, with everything going on, not really possible right now. So it actually enables us to tell a brand story even stronger and, you know, find a location that is really in line with that brand's identity, right? So I think we have a couple clips that we're going to share soon, but, you know, with all of those, we really tried to, you know, identify the brand, what was important to them, and, you know, and translate it.
So what we're looking at here is our first project post-COVID. And first of all, it feels so good to be back. And I'm sure we've all had that moment where in this new Corona land, when you get to do what you love to do the most. So what we did here is we went to the Lars Anderson estate and we used the arbor and a row of trees for the runway. And we really were going for a commercial vibe here. Mm-hmm. We really wanted to capture the exuberance of being able to be together again and be outside. And as you see, we used drones, we used traditional video, and we're super proud of this project. And we, from everyone that was involved in the shoot, we all felt so connected and so alive to be back creating again. It's something we all really missed. So we're super proud of this project. Yeah.
You guys, this is amazing. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Everything is from Remy Creations. So we really, because look, we couldn't touch the models.
Right.
You know, everybody was masked and at least 6 feet away from each other, except for when the models were on camera, we're being filmed, that's when the mask came off. But we never touched the models. We invested in a pop-up fitting room. We had, holsters of, hand sanitizer and disinfectants on our hips. It was very different styling to do this. So we, on purpose, selected clothing that would be super easy for the models to put on themselves and, style themselves, if you will.
Wow, you guys, you've just like really brought us into the future with this one. I mean, I've gone to fashion shows and go to Paris and Milan and London and all of them. And you gave me such a sense of escape and excitement. And it's amazing. I think we're seeing the future through you, and I'm so delighted. And I think people just need that escapism. And you managed to basically pull COVID into the background with what you've created and make sure that the designer and the art is front and center. And then you get that incredible magic of fashion. You can feel it again. Yeah. And I'm really, really impressed. You guys did an amazing job. That was stunning. Stunning. Thank you so much.
We have two.
So glad to see you here.
I'm not sure if they're going to show the other two or.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, I think there's another one that we shot.
I think
coming up, it's called Rock Out, and we shot that in the Quincy Quarry. Very different vibe, featuring designs from Zanib Samous, incredibly talented Boston-based designer. Again, using drones and traditional video. It's a different kind of flavor, different energy, but we're super proud of that. And the other piece that we've done is, what's the name of that athlete? I can't remember. What's her name, Grace?
Little Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, Lindsey Vonn. First fashion collection for Head Sportswear. This will be coming out in September. It should be later this month, early next month, should be out and available to purchase. But we were excited to take that and kind of play with that as well.
Yeah. And that one we actually shot in studio. The first two we took on location to really kind of further the brand and the designer's storytelling by putting them in an environment where you would actually see or wear those clothes. But we were really excited to, take advantage of a studio setting and, different tricks with lighting and dimensions and, we were playing with all sorts of different things behind the scenes. So it was great to be able to experience all three versions.
Here it comes. Oh, great. I'm glad to take a peek.
I was going to say, well, we can always share. So don't worry. This is beautiful.
And, when we were working on creating this with them, the team over at Head, really emphasized which details, that zipper detail that you kind of keep seeing the model playing with. So you really get to see and experience these clothes in a way that you wouldn't in a traditional fashion show. These pants are extremely stretchy, right? It's ski wear. You're meant to be an athlete and move and, but then you can also wear it in a lifestyle situation, with jeans and sweaters like we have here. So, really being able to show the features and then a little editorial situation kind of to round it out. So yeah, no, it was an absolutely great experience, and we love being able to work with these different studios and these different production companies that also were able to lend their own vision to it, because when this first started and we were really looking to expand into virtual runways, we were reaching out to AV teams and that we've never worked with before, and we're just kind of curious and would you be interested in working on something fashion with us? And a lot of them didn't have any sort of fashion, anything in their arsenal or in their toolkit. So they were interested in working with us. And, we brought in our brands and our connections with the models to, really make it happen.
You really made it happen. I mean, those are amazing. Those two examples. I know you have a third. I'm going to talk to Tanisha. Maybe we can send it out to everybody. Yeah. We will definitely be sharing that. So I know we went long on our Tommy Phil.
No worries at all.
We wanted to bring you that, but we don't want to miss what you've done because it's amazing. So promise you that will go out. Everyone will share it. I don't know how Jamie will do it because I'm not in charge of tech. Thank God. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to actually bring Leah in. So good to see you guys. And thank you for those of you.
Thanks for having us, everyone. It was wonderful.
Thrilled to have you here. Really an honor. All right, Leah, back to you.
Thank you so much, Greta. So good to talk to you all tonight. So I'm really excited to introduce Natasha Shungari. She's a recent graduate of the fashion program at Mass College of Art,
and I had the opportunity to interview her last week, which was amazing. She's so inspiring. Unfortunately, we don't have the interview tonight, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on her, and we're going to play a really cool video that she has made of her recent collection. She's drawn all of her inspiration from where she grew up, which is Kenya, and she has a lot of red and green and black, which is the Kenya flag. And she focuses a lot on the cowrie shells, which actually used to be a form of currency in Kenya, which is a very, very meaningful and symbolic motif throughout all of her designs. She's very inspiring. She's done a lot of both masculine and feminine clothing, and some that is kind of gender neutral as well. And her pieces are, they're just kind of something that you wouldn't see every day, yet they're really interesting. So I think Jamie's going to go ahead and play that video so we can see what her recent collection is.
All right, ladies, 1 second. I was showing her website. Let me just grab the video and we can make sure she has a few. So why don't, what I'll show first, Leah, I'll show the 3D model first.
Okay. Oh, this is very cool, the 3D model of her designs, which
Yes.
is something I hadn't seen before. So it's really interesting to
I never saw it as well.
to life like that.
Awesome. So I'm going to share that one right now. Let's take a peek at that. Okay.
You'll see this dress here is kind of the outline of Africa, and she has all those cowrie shells around it. So it's really meaningful on multiple levels. And this 3D replica is really cool. It's amazing she was able to do that, and she has multiple different textures in there. I'm sure she would do a very good job of describing this herself, but I think this is just such a unique piece. I've never seen a dress that kind of has that shoulder like that really is the outline of Africa. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Okay, let me just grab the other one really quick. And in the meantime, while I grab the next one, there was a couple of questions in the Q&A. I just need to kind of switch screens. Can you just answer maybe 1 or 2 of those questions, Leah, while I just switch the screen to show Natasha's other video?
Yeah, so I think a couple of the questions were answered in Tommy's video. They were specific to Tommy, but I do have some exciting news to share while we are waiting for Jamie to get this next video. So I work with Greta and her boutique, Greta Lux, and what we've decided to do for you, all of you guys, is we are hosting a giveaway, which is super exciting. So everyone should have gotten an email earlier today, kind of going over the rules, but all you have to do is have already been registered for this event, so the United States of Fashion. So if you're here today, you were registered. So then go to MadeIncubator's Instagram, and their recent post is talking about the giveaway. Like that post, and then make sure you're following both MadeIncubator and Greta Lux, and tag 2 friends in the comments. Any additional friend you tag, that's an additional entry. Then on Monday, so continue to tag friends over the weekend, and then hopefully they'll tag their friends. And then on Monday, we will be choosing a winner for a $250 gift card to shop our designer deals at Greta Lux. So that's going to be eligible for online purchases and in store. So if you're local and you want to come in, we are able to have people, with COVID precautions and everything, but you can come in store and shop. And then if you are not local, you can shop online at greta.co, and you can shop our designer deals. So be sure to enter the giveaway, and then on Monday, we will be announcing the winner on Instagram. Thanks, Amy. I think you have the video ready. So thank you so much for listening to my giveaway. I'm really excited about it. And just so you know, we have a lot of gems left with our designer deals. I think every day I go into the boutique, I am shopping personally. So there are a lot of good pieces left. So you're not going to want to miss this.
They're perfect Zoom additions for a little upgrade, right, Leah?
All you need are good tops. Like, who cares about the bottoms at this point, right? You need a top.
Dress me from the waist up.
Yes, that's all you need.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Leah, so this is all set. I'm going to play it with the music.
Let's go.
Right.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie. So unfortunately, we don't have Natasha with us, but she is such an inspiration. And as a recent graduate of Mass College of Art, she's been really focused on sustainability and being environmentally safe. So I think what she's doing is, she's so young and she's such an inspiration. And I think what she's done a lot. So thank you so much for sharing Natasha Shingari with us.
Thank you, Leah. That was great. Everybody stretch and get ready for Anthony. We're here. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome,
much.
Anthony.
Yeah, this has been fabulous. It's great seeing women having success, and I know there's tons more successful, all of you. So this has been really inspirational for myself, and I'm sure everyone else is watching is really inspired by it. So let's get to the really good stuff, capital. Everyone's looking for capital, how to raise it, how to do it. And so we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna go to some basic tips and things of that nature. I've written a book about the topic called Get the Loot and Run. It's available out there, tons of information. So one of the things I want to talk about, I have 5 things I want to talk about in terms of business. First is fashion is business. Now, I know a lot of you do it because you have the love for it, the passion for it, but it is vision. So it is a business. So you have to start with what your vision is for the business. And obviously love gets you only so far. You need to pay the bills. So just think about fashion is business. The second thing that I want to talk about is capital is you should make your capital bespoke, like the finest couture fashions. It should be bespoke, meaning that it should fit to your individual situation. So if your friend raised capital from a VCs or they raised it from a bank, you may not necessarily be able to raise it that way. You want it to fit you. You don't want to wear a big sweater off the shelf at Walmart that's a XXX if you're a size small. You want it to be bespoke and fit you. So that's really important, is making sure the capital fits your particular business. The third thing that I want to talk about is that it all comes down to your business model. What's your business model? Obviously, COVID hit and the pandemic changed pretty much everything. And so now what's really big is direct to consumer. A lot of people or fashion brands have been scrambling, figuring out, how do I get direct to consumers? If you had huge social media followings, you have an advantage because you can send them directly to your website and things of that nature. So that's really, really important, is figuring out your business model. And the really, really important thing is for people watching this, you don't have to be a designer to be successful in the fashion business. There's so many other things that are happening behind the scenes. You have companies like Rent the Runway. You have other brands, such as Farfetch and Stitch Fix. So you don't necessarily have to create or design products. If you can, that's great, that's wonderful. But there's so many other aspects of the fashion industry that do not require needles and sewing and all that kind of stuff. So think about that. What is your business model? Is it direct to consumer? Is it a partnership with a company like Bloomingdale's? Is it partnering with small boutiques? So think about, really what is your business model? And that's really, really, really important. And then that gets me into the fourth point in terms of marketing your business. Every business has a unique selling proposition. What is your unique selling proposition? What makes you unique versus all the other brands out there in the marketplace? So have a plan in terms of how you want to be successful in the marketplace. And these are all things that we should always be looking at on a regular basis. So those are really the main things that I want to talk about in terms of having a plan and those kind of things. So those are kind of really the main outline that I wanted to talk about. And in terms of capital, do you want to go into those questions, or should I start answering?
Yeah, I'd love it, Anthony. I think it's a really important part of this. I mean, how are we to have our dreams if we don't understand how to capitalize? So I think it's great. And I just want to say, you gave such a great fast fire. Those points were so important. I think, just unique positioning alone is something everyone should pause on and think about in the new current landscape of COVID. I know we are, and I am. I have a couple questions. The first one is, what are the best funding platforms for small businesses?
Okay, so great question. So the first thing, go back to what I said about bespoke. There are a lot of good platforms. What's best for one person may not be best for you. So you have to figure out what is your specific situation. If you're a wholesaler and selling to other stores, it's going to be different than direct to consumer and the way you finance it. The one thing I will say is that generally banks do not finance startups. It's very rare that a bank is going to finance a startup. What usually happens is if you've been in the business for a while and you have a home, then maybe what you do is you look at leveraging your home to get a line of credit or things of that nature. But banks generally are very skittish to starting startups. But there's lots of platforms these days. For the first time in history, you can raise money on investment crowdfunding platforms like WeFunder and Start Engine. So now, if you wanted to, you could give up a piece of equity or investment in your company as an opportunity. So those platforms are available for the first time in history. And that's a result of the Jobs Act that was passed in 2012. And in 2016, that's when most of these platforms started actually having people on those platforms. There's bank programs that are out there. The one thing I always say is start locally. Every state and every city has an economic development organization. Google your town or your city and say, who's the economic development organization? Start there. And then from there, work on and see if there's any regional organizations, see if there's any state organizations, see if there's any federal organizations or throughout the country. I'll give you some examples. Tory Burch has a program that has a fellows program that trains them through the whole business of fashion and helps women on a regular basis. There's actually cash available. Gucci, I believe, has a program. LVMH, which is probably the top fashion company in the world, they have a program that offers monies that are available. Don't underestimate pitch competitions. The money that may be available may be $1,000 or $2,000, which is great. But what it does is get you comfortable talking to the public about your brand and what your unique selling proposition is. So do not undersell, do not take for granted pitch competitions, because you never know. There could be an investor in there. There could be an angel investor in there who has $100,000. They love your brand and they want to partner with you. It all starts off with pitch competitions. And the big part of pitch competitions is a lot of times the media covers these competitions. So you may be able to generate press and attention for your business, which is worth even more than the money. So think about pitch competitions. Think about the top brands. The Council of Fashion Designers of America, which is America's fashion designers, the top designers. They have a competition every year. I don't believe they're having it this year, but that's a huge competition. Colleges have competitions. So there is no shortage. The main thing I'll say is do your homework. You have access to the greatest computer ever created in your pocket, your phone. Just start Googling, just start doing the research, and you'll find some capital. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to pre-sell your product. If you have a great product or a new line, go out to your followers on Instagram and other social media and say, hey, I got this new line coming out. I need your help to help me get this out there. Would you be willing to pre-order this product? There's no reason why you can't do that. The world is basically your oyster, and with social media, you can reach every corner of the world that has social media.
Wow, you got me really on track. I love it, Anthony. That was so great. Can you tell us again? Can you give me the whole your book and where I can get it and all of that? I want to make sure we stay in touch and that everybody knows where they can reach out to you.
So the name of my company is called Loot Scout, like lootscout.com, and the name of my book is Get the Loot and Run. Find money for your business. There's over 40 different ways to raise capital in this particular book, as well as in the beginning of the book, there's lots of different ways to build a better business. Because what happens a lot of times, businesses are not ready to receive capital. And that's a point I didn't mention earlier. That's my fifth point. You need to be ready to receive capital. So obviously having a bank account, having a website, you'd be surprised how many designers don't have a website. And then not being a sole proprietor. If you're going to raise capital, do not be a sole proprietor. If anything ever happens, they're going after you directly to sue you. Create a separate entity that creates separation between you and the business. And depending if you raise money from, VCs, which is very difficult, it's probably, it's like, becoming pro and, overnight having your designs on the cover of Vogue magazine in the September issue. It's almost impossible to raise venture capital money. It's hard, but it can be done. So I just want to make sure that you're ready for the opportunities, but you're also prepared. So make sure you're ready to accept money for your business. And if you're going the VC route, they may require you to be a Delaware company and all this kind of stuff. And that's when you have to get lawyers and advisors involved. And I'd also say, sort of as a last point, is don't ask if you need money tomorrow. Don't start asking today. Plan ahead. Do as much as you can, because it sometimes takes 60 to 90 days or even longer if you're raising money from outside investors. So do as much planning as you possibly can.
Anthony, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your expertise. I can't wait to get the book. And now we know how to keep in touch with Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks.
Okay, Tanisha, so we cannot go to our goodbyes until, even though I know we're running over, until you talk about Moon. The Moon light is amazing.
Oh my God. So guys,
They're kind of crazy about it.
oh my God, the moonlight selfie. And this is the lighting that we are using tonight. It is so amazing. It is so easy to use, very, very easy to use. It's just this little device right here, but you can literally put it onto your phone. You can put it onto your computer. It is just like so, so great. So Moonlight Selfie, they are so amazing and they are providing our lighting tonight. So we are lit tonight with Moonlight Selfie and just the good vibes from you guys. So we are definitely closing it out. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us and for tuning in. We hope that you guys had a lot of great information and great resources. I said in the chat that I definitely will send an email to everyone who is registered to this event with information on our speakers and how they can get in contact directly with our speakers to ask any other further questions, and definitely to be involved with MadeIncubator. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and stay up to date with us on our website. We have a lot of amazing, new, exciting projects coming about after this event. And so we want to keep you guys updated and engaged and really provide you resources for the fashion community. So we are so excited. I will bring it back over to you, Greta.
I just love it when she does that. We're in the store. We have wine uncorked. This is where we're at, people. We loved it tonight. This was amazing. It's incredible to connect with everyone. I know we were going to announce a winner of our little giveaway, but we're going to pause on that and let everybody do it because we've had such a content packed evening. We just want to keep the focus and we don't want to kind of take away from that. I have to just say, like, wow, what an unbelievable program. Everyone here, I'm just thrilled that you're here. Everyone should be so proud of themselves. To our artists and our designers and our community, you know, the magic that you felt tonight is what's really here. And Tanisha, thank you so much. And our sponsors, and for everyone here for making this possible, because otherwise we couldn't connect. I'm going to thank our speakers for taking the time out to join us today. Thank you for tolerating and managing through my Zoom learnings because we are delayed, and I certainly know that my network television shows wouldn't tolerate that. They would have cut me out a long time ago. And a special thanks to our sponsors, Berkshire Bank, Washtone Media, and all of you for tuning in. We want to thank our special guest speakers, Tommy Hilfiger and his wife, Dee Oclipo. And really, you know, their vision, their love, their support. I mean, after 35 years, I felt like I was given a total, like a refresh, you know, and I needed that button push. So I've really gotten that tonight. I gotta thank my own team, Greta Lux. I have Sarah here on the side. She's been, you know, so safe and so wonderful in helping me get through the evening without completely cutting you all off. And Leah, who has been great, Leah Gardner, thank you so much for always connecting us and keeping us one step ahead, and just the entire team. Gotta thank Moon Ultralight. I want you guys to follow Moon, and I want you to follow my friend Ed. Who is the founder. He's an incredible innovator. His team, they're from Boston. They're local guys, really smart. And what he's done with this brand, so many things tonight hit on this. I know someone asked actually in the chat if we were gonna give one away. But this is cutting edge. You guys are really seeing something and learning about Moon, and you just, it's so innovative and so incredible. And Ed is an incredible artist and a friend. So I need you guys to follow him. It's definitely an innovator and a designer to watch. And so, you know, we will be doing this again, obviously. I can't wait. MadeIncubator, we want to thank you guys. The mission is to change the fashion world through innovation by developing ecosystems that allow exceptional fashion entrepreneurs to create new products and companies better and faster. I'm going to give you the hashtag, we want fashion. Woo, we like that one. That's strong. To stay current with the MadeIncubator organization, their exciting announcements, and how to apply for support, head to www.madeinboston, right? .com?
Made Inc. Boston.
Made Inc. So sorry. Yeah. MadeIncBoston.com, and follow us on IG and Facebook at MadeIncubator. So please follow. We thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much and your love and your connection tonight. And I don't know about you, but I can't wait till the next event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Good night.
TGIF.
Yes, TGIF.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.